My
Right, we're
webcam's lower
live. We're
down.
podcasting now. The recording is going. Hello, how are you doing, Casper?
I am okay. I'm
What have you
just
been up
planning.
to? What have you been up to?
Today I've had my last day of uni. Finished. My final deadline is a week on
Whoa!
Friday.
Congratulations.
Because I
I don't have any celebratory things on my sound pad. The closest I've got is
Oh,
is
you're cutting out.
is that celebratory enough?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that happened, and I'm excited about that.
Good. You sound it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
That
I'm
did
excited
happen,
to.
and I am very excited. I have not been more thrilled in my life.
I'm excited to move into second year and do things that I actually enjoy. Um,
You're not actually enjoying your uni course?
I mean, I am, but there's aspects of it. You're not going to enjoy every aspect of a course, and that's just life. Like, I didn't enjoy the editing at all. Editing just isn't my jam.
Yeah.
But the editor for our film has discovered his love for editing because of that unit.
Hmm.
Like, he has since picking up Premiere Pro for the first time in second term. He's now edited our entire short film by himself and has decided that editing is what he wants to do for the rest of his degree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my relationship
they
with
make us.
editing is I do enjoy it and it can be a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work and takes so long.
Yeah,
Like you can spend like 2 hours editing and have 1 minute of footage depending on what you're
yeah.
doing.
Like
And I don't
John.
100% know what I'm doing. I've never taken a course or anything, so a lot of the stuff I learn is through YouTube and stuff. So you can't ask specific questions
Yeah,
sometimes. Like I've been editing the Sea of Thieves video of the live stream that we did, the first live stream we did with Danny and Joel recently. I'm editing it together for a YouTube video. I think it'll be quite funny. Um, and the normal like cutting stuff down, that's fine, but I want to do an opening sequence that's just a couple of seconds long, that's of like a pan in game of me moving the camera around
yeah,
to then look at the words that are the logo for Sea of Thieves that I want to project onto the sky and make look like it's in the 3D scene itself. um
yeah.
and I've sort of managed to do it, but it's
And
nowhere near the
for
quality I want it
for
to be. It's
me,
very difficult.
For me, I enjoy editing my own YouTube videos. I
Yeah.
enjoy that. But the sort of editing and the sort of programs they want you to use at uni, obviously they're quite complex. We're using
Mm-hmm.
cinema grade editing software.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh
I like, because you
and
use Filmora, don't you, for your YouTube?
yeah, and I like it. I was speaking to my tutor about it today actually because he when I first started the editing unit, I said I can't use Premiere Pro. Can I use Filmora? And he
Hmm.
was like, I don't know much about Filmora, so I'm gonna say no.
Oh, damn.
Because he thought it was like iMovie, and iMovie does everything for you. Like you can't do three
Hmm.
point editing on iMovie, for example, because it does everything for you.
Yeah.
Filmora doesn't, but it's a simple interface and a
And it's easy
simple.
to learn as well,
It's a
my
simple
experience with
layout.
Filmora.
It's the layout that I like. Like if Premiere Pro's layout was simple, then I'd be fine. But there's too much going on on the screen at once. But it's just not for me at all.
Hmm.
And I don't enjoy, for the reasons you've said, I don't enjoy that John, for example, was working on our film for 8 hours today, and he
Yeah.
did 30 seconds worth of footage in those 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It
I,
can take a
I,
very, very long time to get
I
anywhere.
commend him for having the patience because I
It's
bloody don't.
Hey, Pettywop, thank you for the luck. It comes down to um solving it's solving a problem. If you got
Yeah,
the kind of uh if you've got the kind of brain that can sort of logically look at something and be like, okay, I need to solve this. Say, like, I want to project those words into the sky, right? I want to make it look like it's
yeah,
3D in the sky, and that's my problem. And I give that to my brain, and I'm just like, here, do something with this. And I'm the kind of person that will, that to an extent, will enjoy trying to solve that problem. After a while, it can get frustrating, and you should always take breaks when you need to, so that you don't end up hating the thing that you're doing. But
yeah,
I enjoy solving the problem. Editing is like a problem to solve. That's why I like programs that can do the more complicated stuff, because if I want to
yeah.
project that
Like,
words 3D into the sky, I want that problem. I want to put it to my own brain, and I want to see if I can do it. And I think
like,
that's where the joy of editing comes for me, is like solving that. And then also,
yeah,
like, how do I make this video funny? How do I connect the dots? Am I connecting, like, how am I, like, showing this story? Because there's some stuff, like, if I do a callback to a joke, if I'm live streaming for like an hour and a half, and that's all my footage, it's an hour and a half of raw footage, I could make a joke at the start of the live stream and do a callback to that like 45 minutes in. I need to
yeah,
then remember to like to cut that joke for context. I need that joke in there for context and things like that. So it's a lot of that solving of that problem that I find really interesting.
yeah. I
That's where I
do
get
like
enjoyment out of
it,
it.
but like, I like editing my own videos because it's, I don't know. I know what I want. But for editing for a project like John's doing, for example,
Yeah.
he has to follow somebody else's rules, and he
Hmm.
has to understand what our director and our screenwriter, because they're two different people, what their mind's view for our film is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I struggle to see other people's mind's view as it is, I guess. I
I
don't know
think
whether
it
that's
helps. I
the
like
right term.
Because
Like,
I've considered doing editing work for other people before, and I have edited for you as well, but not to the level of editing that I would put myself at now, because I've improved a lot over the past year. Um, but I've always thought about putting myself out there for other people. But I think it helps to be on the same, to have the same kind of vision as someone else. Like, I don't think I could, I couldn't edit for a commentary channel, because
yeah,
I don't do commentary content. I can't relate to it, and I don't know. Like, it's fun to watch. I do watch commentary content, but I don't know what makes good commentary content. But
yeah. Could you
I've
edit
been
a film?
watching. I think I could edit a film, but I think I would have to be passionate about that film. I would have to
Yeah,
enjoy it. I think for me to want to edit a film, I would have to have some say in the story, or I would need to be working very closely with the person that does have a
yeah.
say in the story.
Like,
Because
we have been
I
working
don't think
very
I could be
closely together as a
told,
group.
you know.
Like,
Hmm.
we've ended up making friends, which I wasn't expecting. We've worked together very, very. Oh, Jasper just says that my notification for the stream is still "Who's the imposter?" That's
Oh,
embarrassing.
let me check. Am I on just? Yeah, I'm on
Um,
just chatting.
Thank you for
That's
letting
a
me know,
relief.
Jasper.
Hey.
Um, yeah, we've been working together really closely, and we've ended up making friends. And I've really enjoyed the little team we have been working in,
Mm-hmm.
and I just enjoy making things. And an issue that I'm having is that I have lots of ideas for films. I have
Yeah.
lots of ideas, but I'm not a screenwriter. Like, I cannot write a script
Hmm.
for the life of me. And I don't know why. And I'm just not very good at it because of the layout. I can write a story, no problem. But I can't write
What you
a
could
script.
do if you wanted to, of course. But what you could do is always just write a story, and then pay an actual screenwriter to turn it into a
I'm
script.
Instead of paying them, I'm thinking that I'm going to speak to some people on my course over the summer because we will be working on a fair few projects. ourselves over the summer because we're film students and that's what you do.
Yeah.
I might speak to a few screenwriters and see if they will work with me and like let me put the ideas out and they make it a reality. Because I just can't do it at all, and I commend people who can. Like the same with editing. But then again, a lot of people can't do sound. Like it's not a very popular topic at my uni.
I find sound fascinating.
Just because there's so many problems with it.
There's way too many terms and lingo and abbreviations in sound, I feel, but I find it fascinating. It's been a journey figuring out what sound is. Like I had to Google the other day if LKFS was the same as DB. And if anyone's listening to me and it's just like, what the fuck? You just said random letters. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about all sound all the time. But it's really interesting because it's fascinating. I find it fascinating. Like headphones and microphones are such, really, they're just very delicate equipment. Like they pick up vibrations, and that's how you're hearing me. And I'm putting a condenser on, and it's going through an XLR, a Focusrite. And it's so fascinating, but I think it would be interesting if you genuinely want to do sound, it'll be good.
I want to specialize in recording sound, and basically the equipment that we have to record on a film set is similar to your Focusrite or whatever it's called, but more high tech.
Because... Yeah, because the Focusrite I have it's just the Scarlett Solo. So basically, it's got an input for a microphone, it's got an input for a musical instrument, and it's got an output for headphones, and then it outputs to speakers, and then it connects to the computer so that it tells it to pick up, to send the noise to and from the computer. But the thing that you're talking about, I think, is just an audio mixer, and it's just one of those
3, which is what they're called that we use at uni, is kind of similar. Like there's a
it's like those things you see in studios.
There's a socket to plug in the microphone, well, the boom. And then on the other end, you plug in, you plug in a power pack, and then it connects via Bluetooth to your phone, so you can monitor the levels on your phone, because the screen's bigger than a little screen on it. And
Sean, hello, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. You just got home, fantastic. Welcome to the podcast. Hope you can sort of sit back, chill out, and have a nice podcast with us today. Sorry, Casper, carry on.
And unfortunately, they are £750. I would very much like to own one myself. Then I could fuck about with one in my own time. I probably wouldn't film YouTube videos with it because that is overkill, and anybody who says it isn't is lying. I'd like to go out and film some seagulls with it and shit and get used to it, but I cannot because it's so expensive. And if I get this scholarship that I've applied for, I will spend all of it on sound recording equipment and have my own sound rig that I can use.
Yeah, it's definitely important to just put money back into the business that is you, essentially. Fam, thank you for the uwu, Sean. Fam Tazzy, thank you for saying I love your hair. Casper also has some wonderful coloured hair. You can go check him out at Flappy Hands and Stims. We both do the podcast live at the same time. So if you do want to see both of our reactions and both of our faces as we're talking, we are live. We broadcast live on Twitch for the audio listeners in the future who only hear us on YouTube. We do this live on Twitch where you can see our faces, so that's a fun thing. But yeah, I want to go back a second and talk a little bit about what you just said there, Casper, with just taking your scholarship and buying sound equipment and stuff like that. That is an amazing thing to do, honestly. I've been thinking about it more and more because I fairly recently got affiliated on Twitch, and I may soon have my first paycheck from Twitch, which is exciting. And I've been thinking about it, and there's such a stigma around being a streamer, YouTuber, TikToker, whatever, making content, all that kind of thing. There's such
Even
a stigma around that being an actual job. But if you were to go to a bank and apply for a loan for a small business, you would be going through exactly the same processes.
yeah,
You
but
would
if I wanted to go to a bank tomorrow and say I want to be a freelance sound recorder, they'd laugh at me.
exactly. And if I wanted
Like,
to,
because it's a creative
even if I
industry.
phrased it well, I think even if I went out and I said I want to be a online entertainer commentary. Want to use the word comedian loosely because I'm definitely not a comedian, but I try and make some jokes and stuff with the games. You know, that's the kind of content I try and go for is jokey, funny commentary content, and sometimes I rage a bit if the game's pissing me off. But you know, that's the kind of thing I want to go for, and I can phrase that in such a way that it sounds businessy. But if you just say, "Oh, I want to be a streamer," then you get immediately
I mean,
dismissed,
like, you
and
shouldn't
it's
need to.
such a
Like, I read a post on Twitter a couple of weeks ago that was saying that something like 60% of kids these days want to be a filmmaker or a YouTuber or a streamer. And
mm,
the quote tweet was, I actually saw it retweeted by a YouTuber who is a full-time YouTuber and is a very nice person. But the original tweet was 60% of children want to be filmmakers or YouTubers. We failed them. And my view was like, I'm 25, I'm two of those things currently.
yeah.
Like three if you include the once a week stream I do on Twitch as a thing. And there's a stigma behind saying that you do content creation. Like, nobody in my real life knows about my YouTube really, because I don't tell people, because I'm I'm not embarrassed, but I don't want them to judge me for me saying, oh, I make YouTube videos occasionally.
Yeah, and it shouldn't
I
be.
don't.
There shouldn't be a stigma around it, but purely because at the end of the day, you are self-employed and you are running a business.
I mean, I'm
The
not
fact that you're
self-employed
well,
yet
you're
because
not
I haven't
officially
made a
because
penny.
you're a student. You're a student. But I'm talking about people who are making money doing Twitch, YouTube, and some kind of content creation. You are self-employed, and the business that you're running is yourself. That's it.
Yeah,
And if as soon as I get my first paycheck from Twitch, every single penny of that is going to go into making my content better because I
yeah,
owe it to I owe that to the people who made it so that I could get my first
yeah.
paycheck because I
And there's
want
such
to give
there's
them the quality content that they deserve, that they've come to my channel for, and that they obviously like if they've made it so that I can get this paycheck, and I want that to be better. And any business requires that. Those are your assets. Your microphone, your camera, the games you play are all your assets if you're a streamer, or your phone if you're a TikToker, or I know
yeah,
you brought things off Wish recently to do a thing. Like that's you making your content.
yeah.
I'm getting some messages based on what we're
And
talking about right now, Casper. But do
can
you have
I
anything to
say
say?
something
Yeah, go
before
on.
you?
Yeah, go
Uh,
on.
and there's also such a stigma within the content industry about talking about the money that you make. I unfortunately haven't made a penny off it, but I want to.
Mm.
And I'm in a lot of small YouTuber groups and small YouTuber communities because that's you talk to people. And all of those quite often say that you shouldn't want to make money and you shouldn't want people to view your videos. But I haven't ever made a video and put it up there and not wanted anybody to watch it.
Oh, of course.
Like, we need to get rid of the quite toxic
I have
community
something to
within
say
YouTube,
on
especially.
on what you just said. But I would like to read out Sean's message because I don't want to just leave it sitting there. Um, and it's a good point. So he says it's so dumb that there's a stigma about it, because I feel like a lot of it is just people not understanding that it's an actual industry that people can make money from. Like, both of
Yeah,
us are in a position where we're starting to get to a stage where we can make actual money, and it's because we put in the time. It's like people would rather kids wanted to go into a field that they think is more typical, but they might not be interested in. I would also add that might end up making them miserable because it's the thing that they don't want to
yeah,
do.
exactly.
Myself, that last part is me adding. But yes, um, there's a lack of understanding, I feel, and I think it's a lot to do with the people that are in power currently.
Yeah, like there's a lack
Or
of understanding around
or just
creative
the
industries.
older generations as well, because it was never an option. Now it's an
Yeah,
option. It's definitely an option for well, it's an option for anybody.
now,
I don't want to
yeah,
like gatekeep it. It's an option for literally anybody.
like
But
you can
I'm
do
just
it
I mean,
on a
people past a certain
PlayStation. You
age
don't
have
even need a
spent
computer to
their
do it.
entire lives working in some industry or other, and that's just the way things had to be. But now people can actually just take this control back from that kind of thing and just be like, no, I'm okay. I'm just gonna sorry, my bot isn't in the chat for some reason.
Yeah,
Um
I want to get to a
I'm gonna
point
take
in
control, and
my
I'm gonna do that for myself.
I want society to get to a point that, because every time I mention that I'm at
Because we
film
all know
school
we
and
live
I'm
in a
doing a film
society.
degree, I get asked, what's your backup plan? I've been
Yeah.
asked what my backup plan is by every member of my family. And quite a
Mm-hmm.
few of my friends, actually, from back home have been like, why are you studying film? What's your backup plan? Um, and I want to get to a point where people can be in my position and not get asked that, because it's like, I understand that the streaming industry and the YouTube industry especially is incredibly hard to get into. I've been doing it for 3 years. I've still not made a penny. And there's quite often weeks when I think maybe I should just quit. I've put so many hours into this and got nothing back.
But I think the difference
Uh,
is that you enjoy it
I do,
at the end
but
of the
there's
day.
that I do
Obviously,
still
you want to
have
make something
moments
from
where
it.
I'm like, I'm wasting money because
Of course. Yeah.
I've sunk.
My big one was when I finished building my computer. My computer cost me somewhere in the thousands to finish off completely, and I was just like, I was streaming on a laptop at the time, and I was just like, right, I want to build a better computer, and I want to get good at streaming, and I want to do it. I'm really passionate about this. I want to get a good microphone. I want to get a good computer back, and just have a good stream, and make something out of it. And then I didn't hit affiliate for another couple of months, and I was just like, oh god, maybe I should have just
Yeah,
kept the
I've been
laptop.
like, I still have weeks where I've uploaded 2 videos a week. I've put hours of my time. Like the Chronic Pain series. I'm enjoying it. It's for me,
Hmm.
but I need to stop putting up videos just for me at this point,
I
because I'm
mean,
so close to making money out of it. I
it is
need to.
for you, but just do the ones that are for you and for the viewers as well.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
need to
don't do
push.
anything that isn't for you and is only for the viewers, because
I
everybody
need.
can tell, including you, that you don't want to be doing it at that
Yeah,
point.
I just want society to get to a point where people at film school aren't asked, but what's your backup plan every time they say what their degree is in? Because
Mm,
it's very downheartening. Like, I've worked my ass off to get to where I am today, and it just makes me feel a bit shit when my family are like, yeah, but what you going to do after uni? And when I'm like, I'm going to work in the film industry, they roll their eyes and tut at me. And
mm.
it's just really downheartening, because I have worked, I don't want to say a lot harder than some people, but I
Yeah.
have had a lot more obstacles than the majority of people
Yeah,
that
and
are in my position.
I understand why some people, especially those who have been working their entire life in a certain industry or doing something in a certain way, I understand why they think the way they do about it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you should open your mouth. If you think that the film industry is a dead end career for someone else, you don't say so, because
Yeah, just keep your
you're
mouth shut.
then one of the people that 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 discourages that. You're then one of the people that can stop. You could potentially ruin someone's life and stop them from doing the thing that they're passionate about.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I have never listened to people that have told me that
Of course, like,
shouldn't
you
do
know,
what
and
I enjoy. Sean,
it does take a certain level of willpower to be able to brush that off.
yeah,
But you know, these things can
and
get stuck in your head, and
and
if someone's very young, they've just left college, for example, or maybe even high
even if you
school,
just left
and
school,
they've found something they're passionate in. If you then turn around and say, "Hey, you're not very good at this, you should stop," they're
yeah,
going to stop, and they're going to hate themselves for even trying.
yeah. Sean said in my chat that having a backup plan isn't a bad thing to have, but they
Oh,
should
no.
be asking that to everyone, not just people in creative industries. Yeah, ask that to the people that are doing law, because I have a lot of friends that have done law, and none of them are lawyers.
Yeah.
Um,
I myself, am probably the worst person to talk about backup plans, because, um, my backup plans, my backup plan has basically always consisted of, from the moment I started thinking about what I wanted to do, as I was leaving high school, to now. My backup plan was always, "Ah, it'll be all right." That's it.
yeah,
Like, and for me, I'm not saying to abandon backup plans. Okay, if you have got something or you're working towards something, do have something as a safety net or whatever. But for me, myself personally, I have always just been like, if worst comes to worst, I will just wing it. And worst
yeah.
has come to worst a lot of the time throughout my life, and
I
I have
think
just winged it, and it has worked out perfectly fine, and I'm
I
sat here
think
today
my
doing
backup
something I
plan.
enjoy.
I think my backup plan is probably YouTube. Like at the moment, I'm thinking, like, I can't. If I don't make it in the film industry and I don't end up landing a job at Netflix or something, then I do have YouTube to fall back on, which might be a stupid fallback because I've not got many subscribers and I've not made any money out of it. But I don't want to think about me, because I'm never going to be able to work in a 9 to 5 job. Everybody keeps on telling me that I can, but
Oh,
I know myself and I know that I will
uh,
not be able to cope in that environment. I'm
yeah.
autistic and I
Uh,
now have chronic pain issues.
uh,
I'm never
Casper,
going to
can
be
I
able to
just stop
stand
you
up.
for a second, please? Sorry, what you're saying is interesting, and I do want to come back to it. But I have like had three things happen at once. So first of all, Pokerbrox, what's up? Thank you for joining in. Joel, thank you for coming back in with the tier 1 subscription. Being subscribed for 2 months now. Jesus, that's amazing. And he says, "I feel like I came in during a serious convo, so I won't say a dumb joke," which I appreciate that. And then to top it all off, Jeckard Kane just raided me with a party of 6. So big thank you to Jeckard. I can't spend as much time on thank yous and stuff because it's a podcast and that we put this up on YouTube. But I do want to say thank you, and I don't want to just leave that ignored. And I just got 2 gifted subscriptions from Pokerbrox as well, so thank you very much. Big raid, thank
Sean
you.
says,
Right, sorry,
Sean
Casper,
says
do you want to
in
carry
my
on?
chat, I studied law for a while, wasn't for me, and I ended up fucking up at college. I was exactly the same. I did law A level, English lit A level, English language A level, and psychology A level because I was told by not my family. My family have always believed in me and always said that I can do whatever I want to do and they will always support me. By my friends and my teachers that I was good at English and that's what I was good at, so I should do law and English. I
Yeah.
did a year of law, ended up an alcoholic, and dropped out at the end of first year because
that sounds too
because
accurate.
it made me so miserable that I was drinking every night, which just isn't healthy. It fucked up my mental health for a large time. So I dropped out of college. I did an apprenticeship in childcare for a year, which I enjoy. I love childcare, but not in a paid role. In a paid role, you have a lot of rules you have to stick by, and you have to do things in a certain way. I would eventually very much like to volunteer with autistic kids again because that's what I'm good at. I would,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's good work.
I'm good at that.
You always seem to be very happy doing it. But Titola Fox, thank you for joining. And they just say being an alcoholic is part of being in law, which I can honestly see.
Basically, a lot of people on my course, we all dropped out and we all used to go and get drunk together at lunchtime, which really wasn't healthy. Like, and Sean said that he also did psychology the same year as law, dropped them both, swapped to ancient history, classic Civ and English.
Yeah.
Which was awesome and nothing like what I'm studying at uni now. Yeah, I did. I was really academic at college, and then I did an access course in creative writing and media, thinking that I wanted to go into the creative writing side of it because I am quite good at creative writing. I'll toot my own horn there and say that I could probably write a novel if I really wanted to, and it would be good.
Yeah.
And then I realised on my creative writing and media that the creative writing and media wasn't the most interesting part of it for me. The most interesting part was the reviewing films and the critical film thinking, which is also on my degree, and a lot of people on my degree absolutely hate, but I really enjoy because I like picking apart a film, especially a good film. Picking apart a good film and focusing on the positives.
So
is one of my
to bring it back around
to
what we were talking about before, it sounds like you've found your passion
eventually
through a lot of these things. And if there is anyone listening to this now or in the future who is doubting what they want to do or whatever, just know that it does
it's
work
okay
out.
To not know what you want to do.
It's okay to not know what you want to do. Just do something. At the end of the day, like when lockdown started, which is what kind of prompted me to be doing content creation and stuff. When lockdown started, I basically just played video games and did nothing else. I watched YouTube, played video games, and didn't do anything. And then partway through lockdown, I started YouTube, and I actually enjoyed the shit out of it, and it was a great time. I then progressed onto streaming, and I love this, and it's definitely a passion of mine. But I wouldn't have discovered that if I didn't do anything. So even if you don't know what you want to do and you're applying for like a college course or a uni course, just apply for one. And then if it doesn't work out, just drop out. Just fucking leave it.
And if you don't like it, you can always change your path and do something else. Like, it took me a decade after leaving school to realise what I actually wanted to do. And I'm very thankful that I took that almost 10 years out and did other things with my life. Because I now have skills that I didn't even know that I could have. By the time I left school.
Exactly, and you do discover
my
a lot about yourself. Also, if I'm not swearing for the next 5 minutes, it's because Dagon redeemed no cursing. And so I need to watch that.
And my life is a lot better having learnt the things that I learned from the kids when I was doing a childcare apprenticeship, and having learnt the things I learnt from A-level law, which is I shouldn't drink. Like,
exactly. Yeah, like that. Even that's a lesson. Like I had my drinking phase when I dropped out of college, and it's hey, you at least learn that you shouldn't drink, or you learn your limits if you
I didn't learn much else from.
If you do continue to drink after that, you at least learn your limits with that. But I definitely learned that I just shouldn't drink. I don't drink anymore.
And I've just learned that it's and I still wouldn't change my path at all. Like, some people had left school, went to A-levels, and then went straight to uni, and then are in a job, usually not in their degree subject. And that kind of says it all. I'm glad that I took the time to try out a variety of different things. Like when I tell people I did childcare for 2 years, they're usually like, "What the fuck? Why did you do childcare for 2 years?" Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's important to try out new
But
things,
you
and
learn,
if
you do learn stuff, and it's, you know, I've said it before because there have been some people who are still in high school in my chat, and the topic of school is sometimes brought up in my streams because I have my own opinions on education, and a lot of people have opinions on education, in their country, and stuff like that. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. Just whatever you do, don't stop learning.
yeah, just
Um,
stay in school and try out as many things as physically
I
possible.
I don't yeah, I like school is terrible. The education system needs massive reform. I know it does in this country. I know it does in America. I can't comment for other countries. But I'd say from my experience anyway, and from experiences told to me by other people, the schooling system needs a lot of reform and a lot of work to make it interesting and to make it beneficial
And
for
less
the kids that are in it,
traumatic
and less
for
traumatic.
the
Yes,
children that were in
100%.
it, because I spoke to a
But
therapist about my school life recently, and
I'll
we
say whatever
agreed.
you do, because it could very well be that it's not the best option. And I've known people who've gone through their entire primary school and high school life home educated. Like that has been a thing. I myself was home educated through pretty much all of primary school. So that's the thing. So even if that's your goal, if that's the way you want to go, if you really can't hack it and your parents can help you, and they see a better option, then and home education is the option for you, then that's great, that's fine. And if you don't want to do college, that's great, that's fine. If you don't want to move on to university, that's also fine. All of these things are valid. Just do not stop learning at any point.
Yeah, just try
That's
out
the
as
most
many things as
important thing.
physically
Try out all
possible.
of the things
Take as
that
many free
even seem
courses as
remotely
possible.
interesting, and as soon as you realize it's not for you, do something else.
But
it's
you stay away from
it's
law, is what we've learned today. Do
essentially,
everything
yeah.
apart from law, because
Yeah,
it
fuck
made
law,
two
apparently.
people in
Uh-huh.
this stream drink. But
Nan
yeah,
Nantucket Clem says straight facts right now in the chat. I appreciate that. I don't know if I've been swearing this entire time. Chat, have I been swearing this whole time? Because I'll need to reset my timeout. I've got a minute left, but I breezed through that entire explanation, and forgetting that I had the no cussing thing on, so I may need to reset. But it's yeah. Just do not stop learning, because as soon as you
just
stop
do whatever
learning,
you
you stop
enjoy.
growing as a person, and that's when you start to sort of devolve into someone who is depressed or angry, or has some kind of, like, it can affect your mental and physical well-being in more ways than you think it would. And so that's not me saying that school is great, but that is me saying
And
that learning
another
is great and
thing
you should always do it.
is
Yeah.
that it's perfectly normal to not know what you want to do at
Yes.
16 or 17.
Or ever.
And schools push you need to know what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Mm.
No, you don't. I did A-level law, and now I'm at a film school. Like, you don't need to know what you want to do early life. There's people that decide to go back to uni and do something entirely different to the career they've been in for the past 20 years when they're in their 40s. You never need to stop.
Yeah, there's no pressure to know. Just find out. and
Yeah.
and it, like, because we got onto this topic because I was talking about how streaming is a valid career choice. Streaming's a valid career choice. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. If you are doing some kind of online content creation, like Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, or if you're over 18, OnlyFans or anything like that, that's still
I don't really
yours.
understand TikTok.
That's
though,
that's you taking control of your life, your situation, and marketing yourself. You are selling you're selling yourself, not necessarily in, like, the sex
You're
worker
selling
way,
your
but you're selling your
personality.
personality, or even your body or whatever, it for and taking that control back, because you would be selling that otherwise. If you go into an ordinary job, you'll be selling your body, in the sense that you're sat at an office desk somewhere for 8+ hours a day, or you'll be selling your mind because you're working out calculations for some businessman somewhere,
Or you'll be selling
or
your
you'll be
labour
selling your
'cause you're
voice
behind
or
the
your
bar.
personality because you're because you're behind the bar, or you're on the phone in a call center. I'm gonna have to zoom for now, but enjoy the rest of your podcast. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. But you know, you'll be selling some part of you anyway, so do it on your terms.
Yeah.
Make it happen, and it will come, and it is good. Don't do it just for that. Obviously, you need to feel
Yeah, if
some kind
I
of
think,
passion for it, but
I
it
think
is
one
100%
thing-
valid. And you know, if it was any other business, if you were just making wax candles or something, or you were starting up like a small business making beauty products, for example, the government would be like, oh yeah, that's fine, we'll give you a loan, and you know, we'll treat you like an ordinary person. But they won't necessarily do that. Your family members won't necessarily do that, and people you talk to won't necessarily be like, oh yeah, that's valid. Or they'll probably be more like, oh, what's your backup plan? What are you gonna do when this fails, or whatever? Because they don't see it as valid. It is 100% valid. You just have to enjoy it first.
Yeah.
Enjoy it
But
first.
one
and
thing I will
be
mention
good with
is
it. Yeah.
if you want it just for the money side, which in again these YouTuber groups that I'm in, there's a lot of people that just are just in it for the money. If you're just in it for the money, go and find something else to do, because you won't make a lot of money and you won't make it very quickly.
I do want to say here, because I this is a thing that a lot of YouTubers, especially ones who have quote unquote made it, say, and by made it I mean they can pay their rent with YouTube or
Yeah.
streaming content money or whatever, that kind of thing. That a lot of them do say, do not be in it for the money. I would say, do
Well, it's
not be in
perfectly
it for
acceptable to
only
want
the
money.
money. It is
Yeah,
perfectly fine
like-
to want the and to work towards that, and to try and get affiliate or partnered on YouTube or whatever, because at the end of the day, that is it's definitely valid.
Yeah, it's perfectly acceptable to want money. Like, I am very open with my audience and open with everybody who knows me that I want to make money off it. And I think anybody who says that they're not making content without wanting at least someone else to view it is a liar.
Yeah,
Because,
exactly.
yeah, you don't make something for nobody to watch.
Exactly.
but-
Just do enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, you run yourself into the ground and you run your audience into the ground, because they can
Yeah.
tell and you can tell, and you
if
don't want to
you're
be
just
there,
in
and
it for
that's
the money,
fine. Just
people
go do
won't
something
watch you
else,
because it's
it's
always-
obviously not your passion.
It's always really obvious. Like, I've stopped watching some YouTubers because I don't like their content. Now they've got a ridiculous amount of money in the past.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
quite often, actually.
yeah,
Like-
I can see that.
The content just changes.
Yeah.
My computer's very dusty.
You can give it a clean afterwards.
After we've done with this podcast, I'll know.
Totila Fox says, I sell my body to create CO2. I've gotten very good at generating carbon dioxide over the years. Hey, if you're
Same.
talented at it, hey. Maybe one day you'll live in a world where you can charge for that.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, there's some people who can. Like, Corpse Husband once got so much media attention for the fact that he just uploaded a clip of himself breathing onto Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he
Yeah.
made a fair bit of that. I'm sure he probably just got paid to breathe in that situation.
Yeah.
Getting paid to create CO2. Perfect. Yeah. So streaming's valid. Should we talk about anything that's actually happened this week? Because a lot of it has just been our passions, which are great. But is there anything that sort of struck out at you? H3H3 is getting sued for 50 million, or Are they getting sued? They are getting sued, right? They are actually getting sued.
I
for
don't
50
have
million.
a clue.
Um,
there's gonna be a Friends reunion.
Okay. Do you want to talk a bit about that? Because I don't have a clue.
There's a
I've never watched that.
ridiculous amount of guest stars, and they should have just let Friends die in the 90s, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't like
don't have any
Friends. I
opinions on
liked
that.
Friends when I was a kid, but that's because I hadn't
here's one
discovered
that's
Parks and Recreation.
that's related to the platform we're on and a story we've spoken about recently. A hot tub streamer has had their ads pulled, without being told. According to her, she had her ads pulled for no reason, without any warning, and is being made an example out of because she's a hot tub streamer. Allegedly, allegedly, that's what she.
In my opinion,
Twitch has
I
done.
don't believe that because Twitch are very good with letting people know what's happening with their money. So, personally, I don't really believe that she's not been told.
Yeah, well, according to her, Twitch has not read out. I don't have any reason to not believe her. Oh, I've moved my camera off. Oh my god, I've massively moved my camera off center. How do I fix this? There we go. Sorry about that. Twitch did. I don't disbelieve that Twitch has just taken her ads off her without saying anything.
I think they might have just taken them off her, but I think they would have told her.
I'm not too sure. But the conversation that's currently happening is that's kind of a dangerous precedent, really. Precedent? I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. But it's dangerous, really, isn't it? Because if they can just pull ads randomly and they can just demonetize someone just completely out of the blue, they can do it to anyone, and they can do it to anyone. But it's just it's dangerous, and you shouldn't do that. And if you are doing that, please don't do that. Do tell people if they're breaking the rules. Warn people if they're breaking the rules. That being said, my opinions on hot tub streamers haven't changed. I am still all for women trying to get money out of the sexualization that men put on them anyway, but I also do not think that it belongs on Twitch. I think there's better platforms for it that you could destigmatize by being on there.
I think it should be on another platform.
And I do kind of hope that Twitch does. I don't want to. I will say this now before anyone misinterprets what I'm saying. I do not want Twitch to randomly pull ads from people without any warning, and I do not want Twitch to be banning people or just completely deplatform people over this. But I do want Twitch to have to update their rules, change it around a bit so that this kind of content isn't on Twitch. Or if they really want it to be on Twitch, then make an entirely separate category for it and move it away
to show ID.
Exactly, and then move it away from move it so that there's not a situation where a woman scantily dressed in a hot tub is right next to a 15-year-old playing Minecraft, you know? If you really want it on your platform. But I do think that there should be warnings sent out and that there should be a rule change here, because it doesn't belong here. I've said all this before, though. I don't want to keep going over it. But yes, that's happened. And allegedly, Twitch has taken this woman's advertising just out of the blue with no warning. I can see why you don't believe her, because Twitch hasn't given a statement on their end, so we can't really comment too far on that. Yeah. They recently redrew their rules on sexually suggestive content and partial nudity last year. So honestly, I feel like they need to do it again. And there's been like rows and controversy.
If they've done it once, they can definitely do it again.
there's been rows and controversy over women showing cleavage on streams. I don't think that's too much of an issue, but when it is sexually suggestive content and it's clearly them trying to make money out of that on a platform that there are clearly underage people on, that becomes a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
And I'm not too much of a fan of that. And if you want to just do a hot tub stream because that's just a really funny thing to do, like I saw one of my favorite streamers did a hot tub stream, and he was just wearing a t-shirt and swim shorts. You know, you can just have a hot tub stream and it not be a sexually suggestive thing. But I feel like it's definitely them just trying to find a loophole to exploit the sexually suggestive content on Twitch, where there's a loophole in a rule in order to get money out of thirsty teenagers and horny men.
Yeah.
And that's like the horny men part is fine, but do that on a site that's meant for it.
I would agree with you, to be honest.
Right. Anyway, that's kind of all I've got to say on that. Do you have anything else?
I might suggest that we call it a day now, because I really need a wee.
Okay.
that...
Do you have anything to say about the because the H3H3 one was quite interesting. So do you
I just don't think they're gonna win that at all, because they cannot.
I don't think Triller are gonna win that.
I don't think Triller are gonna win that because they can't stop piracy.
50 million is an insane amount.
Wrong.
There is no way that they can prove that H3 used the clips and broadcast them live. Used any clips that weren't readily available, because there were clips readily available from that fight, and he did talk about it after the fight's conclusion was known worldwide. So there is no way. Yeah. There's no way. And all they're trying to do is scare H3 into settling, or try and overturn the previous wins H3 have done. This is a targeted attack on H3H3. Hello, Keish. Thank you for joining. We're going to be ending soon, but please stay where you are, because I will drop a little raid. Yeah, it's a targeted attack against H3 because of their success against that guy that sued them a while back. I can't remember fully what his name was. It was something like Matt or something, but he tried to sue about fair use. They won. They got fair use defined in a legal contract. H3 got fair use defined in a legal term by an actual judge, and it was a big win, and it was a landmark case in terms of YouTube. And all Triller are trying to do is get away with scaring H3 into reversing that, so that them and other companies in the future can use that case and be like, these guys settled here, so they know that they're in the wrong, so everyone else that uses a audio beat that's 0.1 second of this incredibly obscure song, it can have all of their money taken off them, you know? So it's dangerous, but I don't think Triller are gonna win. With that being said, should we end the podcast?
Yeah, I think we should call it a day. Are you going to be playing some games, or?
No, I think I'm going to end it here. So, thank you for watching the podcast, and for YouTube, this is goodbye.